Welcome to the video lecture on runway and taxiway markings. The runways, taxiways and other allied components of the airport should be properly marked so that they can be easily interpreted by the pilot who is negotiating at a considerable height. So there are different types of markings like runway marking, taxiway, shoulder, apron, landing direction, wind direction indicator. Out of these 6, runway and taxiway marking are included in the syllabus. So there are 7 different types of markings made in the runway. We can see one by one now. Runway centerline marking. So you can see the centerline marking here. So centerline marking is the marking that is made at the center of the runway. So the width of the marking is 90 centimeter and it is a broken line. Runway edge strips. The runway edge strips are normally marked. When the runway width exceeds 45 meters, the side strips in the form of long continuous lines 90 centimeter wide may be marked near the edges as shown. So you can see the dotted lines here. So this indicates the center line. And these are the lines which indicate threshold. So these are the edge strips that are marked out at the edge of the runway. So along both the edges of the runway. And these are runway touchdown markings or landing markings, which are 1.8 meters wide strips placed at 1.5 meter clear distance of 22.5 length. So they are placed in decreasing order along approaching runway. Touchdown or zone marking. So the touchdown or called as landing zone is indicated by a series of stripes arranged symmetrical above the center line with their number decreasing gradually in the direction of landing. The runway threshold is indicated by a series of parallel lines starting from a distance of 6 meters from the runway end. The threshold markings are in the form of strips 3.6 meter wide, spaced at 0.9 meter clear and placed symmetrically on either side of the runway center line. So we can see threshold marking here. So the strips width is 3.6 meter and the clear distance between these strips are 0.9 meter. So we can have a full view of the runway marking here. So this 28 number indicates the direction of the runway with respect to the north. So this 28 indicates this runway is oriented at 280 degrees from the north measured clockwise. Displace threshold marking. At some airports, it is desirable to displace the runway threshold on a permanent basis. A displaced threshold is one which has been moved a certain distance from the end of the runway. So we can see the arrow head indicates the direction of landing of the aircraft, and This horizontal strip along the width indicates the threshold. The runway numbering. The end of each runway is marked with a number which indicates the magnetic azimuth. That is the angle measured in the clockwise direction from the north of the runway in the direction of landing. Thus, the east of an east-west runway should be marked 27 for 270 degrees Celsius and west in 9 for 90 degrees. So here we can see 3 runways which has different markings. When there are 2 or more runways in the same direction, the following letters are added to the azimuth numbers. 2 parallel runways means left and right is indicated as capital L and capital R. 3 parallel runways means it is indicated as LCR, that is left, center and right. Taxiway marking. A single continuous 15 cm yellow strip is used to mark the center line of the taxiway. At the intersection of the taxiways with the runway ends, the center line of the taxiway is terminated at the edge of the runway. All the other intersections of the taxiways with the runways, the central line of the taxiway is extended to the central line of the runway. A holding line marking is painted at all the intersection of the paved taxiways with the runways. At the taxiway intersection, the center line markings of the taxiway continue through the intersection area. So we can see taxiway marking here. So at the intersection of the taxiway with the runway, the center line of the taxiway is terminated at the edge of the runway. So we can see the taxiway marking here. So the plenty part is the runway, and here we can see the taxiway. And so this is the old markings of the taxiway. So here at the intersection of the taxiway and the runway, the middle line of the taxiway is ended at the edge of the runway. At other intersections of the taxiway with the runway, the center line of the taxiway is extended to the center line of the runway. A holding line marking is painted at all the intersection of the paved taxiway with the runway. So here we can see this is taxiway and this is runway. The center line of the taxiway is extended to the center line of the runway. At the taxiway intersection, the center line markings of the taxiway continue through the intersection area. So the horizontal one and the inclined one, both are taxiways. So at the junction of 2 taxiways, the center line is just extended. Shoulder marking. The shoulders on the edges of the runway and taxiway are paved but are not capable of withstanding load. So runway shoulders are marked with diagonal strips, each having width of 90 cm. They are painted in yellow color. The blast pad is marked with V-shaped or chevron pattern marks. The taxiway and holding apron shoulders are marked with stripes at right angles to the direction of the travel of aircraft. So you can see here the different shoulder markings along the runway and the apron. So striped pattern along the runway and the checked pattern along the shoulder mark, apron and the taxiways. So you can see the shoulder marking along the runway and taxiways. This is a satellite view of a runway with the shoulders marking on either side. So landing direction indicator. To indicate the landing direction, an arrow or a T is placed at the center of the segmented circle. It indicates to the pilot the direction of active runway of the airport. It is painted by orange or white color for being spotted during daytime and light during nighttime. It is fixed at a distinct place. So this is the T type of landing direction indicator. So here you can see, so this is the segmented circle, or this is the direction to which the plane has to be landed. So the airport landing entry is here, then goes across the taxiway and finally enters into the runway and lands in the airstrip here. So this indicates the landing direction. Landing direction indicator along with the wind direction indicator. So here we have wind indicator along with the landing direction. The direction from which the wind blows is indicated by a wind cone. It is placed within a segmented circle together with the landing direction indicator. Wind cone length should not be less than 3.6 meter and its diameter should not be less than 90 centimeter. So this is the picture of wind cone. From the picture view of the wind cone, you can see the direction of wind through the wind cone. So based on this, the landing direction is indicated here. So these are the different pictures of runway holding positions, and this is the overall view of